Hello, my lovey. Welcome to another episode of the ZFG Living Podcast. Today, we are joined by.
So I'm the founder of Soul Language and Soul to Business. And Soul Language is a paradigm that puts tangibility to soul in the soul of the business. And why do you want that? Well, I help people put consciousness into everything they do. And when you put consciousness into things, it grows. And we want to be successful and we want growth. And what I'm really good about is helping people, instead of create a business, create a movement and really receive from that movement instead of, being at their computer wondering when their next paycheck is coming, because that stinks.
OMG, does it ever?
Yeah, it
Spoken
does.
as a former tax preparer.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
thanks.
And I can personally attest to her amazing gifts in this arena because one sessione avec, that's with in France, with Jennifer, and I like things fell into place that I did not understand about myself. And I love seeing when people are operating in their zone of genius, and your zone of genius is got several zip codes because
Okay.
it shows how things can happen with ease.
Yeah. I mean, listen, my greatest desire is freedom. I think I know that we just make it all so freaking hard.
Yes.
So, Jennifer Bloom, which if you don't know Jennifer Bloom, you should. Jennifer Bloom and I have been teaching this class called Warrior and Money. And what we've kind of totally understood is that all of our separation or all the things that we're not getting is really based because your relationship with the divine needs support. And we feel when our relationship is not as what we want it with the divine, there's only three reasons why that's happening. You feel unworthy, you feel love is conditional, or you feel unworthy of love. So you guys can pick which one resonates with you most out of those three kind of conflict with the relationship. But when you really understand what's that biggest kind of challenge and you're struggling, you can go, oh, for me, it's love is conditional. So I go, oh, here I am again. Love is conditional. How do I want to remember that that is not true? And what actions do I want to take internally and externally to move from me acting like love is conditional and creating from that
Mm-hmm.
to create from what my big desire is, freedom. And it's very simple game. How we do it is very complex. And I think so often we are stuck in the complexities
Mm-hmm.
instead of understanding that life is kind of simple.
It is deceptively simple. It's
Right.
But the deception is on the lines of, yeah, discipline is also very simple. I mean, muck screw Nike and their just do it thing. However, if we could just do it.
Yeah, not only that, but who came up with that brilliant idea? I mean, come on. Like, pretty simply brilliant. And I think the thing about, warrior energy, which I have, and I teach people about unconscious warrior energy, is just do it. Well, we could do that. We could just do it, right? We could just do it until we're blue in the face. It's how we're doing it, right? Are we
Mm-hmm.
doing it knowing that we're whole and complete, or are we doing it based on pain and suffering? Frequently in like networking, and I do a lot of kind of like coffee Zoom things, I will ask a person, what do you need? And they'll go, oh, I need more business. I need more. And it's hard for me not to roll my eyes when that happens because I go, yeah, we all need that. But that's really not what you need. That's like the out picturing of what you need. And you're focused on that because you're not fulfilling the need that you need.
Right.
Like, what do you need? And people don't know how to answer that. They don't know how to answer, what do you need? What are you looking for? They're they get stumped. And
Mm-hmm.
you see them like go the deer in the headlights, go, I don't know, or I'm afraid to ask for what I want and what I need.
Or even to realize.
Right.
So do the core wants and needs usually stem back to the three things, the feeling unworthy, feeling
That is a very good question. And I do not know that answer. I would have to sit with the divine and ask. That's a really good answer. That's a really good question. I'm having a meeting with Jennifer Bloom after this for our next class. So I will think about that.
Excellent.
My first response is, of course, because it's like that two face coiny thing.
Hmm.
Just like most of us who are in service industry are teaching or offering service of our greatest challenge, right? It's kind of that double-edged thing. Um, I think so often what we're craving, in order to receive it, we need to give it to ourselves first. And in order to receive it and give it to ourselves first, we have to accept that we are worthy, that we are lovable, and that love is without conditions. So, yes, they are related.
Yeah, definitely. And it makes perfect sense. Like they would have to be. And I feel like very few are the people who are going to say, oh, what do you need? I crave community. You know what I mean? Like it's,
Yeah,
uh,
please, I feel no, yeah, because it's so vulnerable. I mean, a couple years ago, someone asked me what I wanted, and I was like, I want a patron. They were like, what? I was like, yeah, I really feel like I just want someone to take care of me. I was talking to a friend and I said, I just want a patron. She goes, you do have a patron. I was like, I do? She's like, yeah, it's God. And I was like, oh,
oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh
missed
yeah.
that one.
That
Right.
that
Like,
being got
yeah,
it.
oh, got it. Right. But you know, it's really, it's going back to kindergarten in some respects, about really understanding ourselves on a basic human level. I mean, kids pretty understand themselves. I mean, they do some crazy things, but they kind of understand themselves, right?
They
They
do.
understand what they want and what they need and who they are.
And what they won't stand for.
Yes.
And I
And
feel like that gets conditioned out of us a little too thoroughly, so that by the time we're here in these later decades, we're standing for we're doormats. I
right
was,
until you hit 50, and then you're like, screw you, I'm 50, I'm done. Right.
there is a beautiful thing about the longevity and
Yeah.
when you are in later decades, because you know that wave is going to ebb.
Right. You're like, whatever. I mean, one of my gifts is really helping people understand their energetic boundaries, right? And I have this whole program called Working for Peanuts, how to choose clients and not energetically go broke. And I remember the moment I fired a client, because I could feel her starting to blame me. And I was like, in mid sentence, I was like, I'm going to return your money. And I don't think I'm the person for you. And she's
Mhm.
like, what? I'm like, even though I'm going to return all of the money. And that also required a profound sense of knowing that I was safe and provided for.
Mhm.
Right. And did it in like 15 seconds, like, do. That's what's
Yeah.
great about PayPal. Right.
Yeah.
And it was a profound moment of deciding I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna stand for being abused at work in
Oh,
my
that's
own
gorgeous.
right in my own business, right? And so many of us are doing that. So many of us are um a couple of years ago I kept hearing the phrase eat what you kill. And as a warrior, I'm like, okay, why does this phrase keep coming up? And I really hate it. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm not going to keep chasing for business. This is ridiculous. Like, if the world is my oyster, then I need to start acting like the world is my oyster.
And having that receiving energy is definitely the way to it. And it sounds so simplistic and it's so true. And that is a perfect spot for us to land at the end of this interview, that the world is filled with abundance and we don't have to keep going out and killing more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah, drop mic. Boom. Done.
Bam. That's right. Jennifer Urezzio, people.
We're out of here. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bringing your goddessness to us. Appreciate it.
You're so welcome. I adore you. So it was my total pleasure.
Aww.